In a world of modded PSPs, not a lot of people collect UMDs anymore, unless you're like me. Obviously, you collect these. But even though PSPs have become pretty trendy with collectors and other nostalgic people online, it is just more convenient to have a modded PSP with all the games you could want on it. I mean, 2 of the 3 PSPs here are modded. However, similar to like a modded 3DS, I feel like I don't play enough games if my device is just riddled with games. Like how on my 3DS, it has like dozens and dozens of games. But then I spend most of my time debating, okay, what should I actually play though? And then I just never play anything. Or I just skip between games like every few minutes. Sometimes I kind of get that with the PSP. But if I'm playing a game that I own physically, I'm way more inclined to actually sit and play it more. So I don't have a lot of PSP games right now, but I do want to show you what I have. I do have a lot more that I want to get in the future, but this is a pretty small and mighty collection, I'd say. I'm gonna leave the stack right there. I've shown off my PSPs before. This is the 1000, chunky boy, we all love it. This is the 2000, which is the one I've been playing all of my physical games on because cool, it's the coolest one I have. And this is the 3000. I put my Vita in here, but I actually don't have any physical Vita games, and that's because this one is modded, but where a game cartridge would go is where I actually have the storage for the Vita, because the actual storage thing was really hard to find. Maybe one day I'll find it and I can grow my Vita collection a bit. And I am constantly forgetting to put the Portal in my videos, and I think that should tell you enough. And while I don't use the Portal a lot, I'll admit I played a lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on here. It was mostly when I wanted to play it like hours and hours at a time, but I didn't want to sit down. So I like whipped out a walking pad and then just turned on the Portal and used it. But you gotta admit, there are some kind of cool elements about the Portal. And it's mostly that it lights up and I like the colors. And the screen size is nice. It's kind of the same size as the Switch 2. Or I guess the Switch 2 is the same size as the Portal. I don't really have a lot of opinions on the Portal though. It's a really cool streaming device. It's low key. It is actually probably the best streaming device I've had. I don't have a lot of luck when I'm streaming things, right? I feel like every device I stream things on is super laggy, but this is like the least laggy thing I've ever used. It's come in handy when I've needed it, but I don't really use it, but I like how it looks. Anyway, let's move on to real PSPs. Our first game is Monster Hunter. It's actually Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite. I did not know that PSP games came in a dual pack like this, so this was a really cool find on Mercari recently. What I don't like though, and I hate that PlayStation kept getting away with this during this era, the spines don't match. This is the one PSP game I own that is just so much smaller, and I get why they did it because it's like 2 games in one. They needed the space, but this is kind of infuriating. Anyway, I just got this recently, so I haven't played it. I love Monster Hunter handheld games. I think I have most of the 3DS Monster Hunter games. They're a lot of fun, but I've never played the PSP games. I heard they're pretty difficult, but I'm kind of excited to start. This came complete in box too, which I really like. I mostly just wanted Freedom Unite, but you know what? I'll take 2. 2 in 1 is not bad, even though the cover's kind of ugly. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to start this. It looks pretty fun. Next up, the game that I mention every single day of my life, it feels like, we got Parappa. I still love this game. I haven't played it recently because I feel like I've played so much of this game in my life, but I really like the box art for this. I love that it's just his stupid face. This was also complete in box, which I really like because I love the PS3 ads. And I don't know, Parappa is just a good game. And I don't know, this was just such a nice port of the PS1 game. It's how I played it for the first time, and I really didn't have any issues playing it. I know that the PS1 version of the game has a lot of timing issues, and I don't really know if the PSP version fixed it, but I didn't really have any problems, so that's cool. At the end of August, I'm going to PAX West, which is a fun little gaming convention in Seattle, and I bought a Parappa shirt that I'm going to wear if it arrives in time. So maybe I'll bring this with me on the road trip just for funsies. Next we have The Sims Castaway. I feel like I've brought this one up a lot too. I feel like I have more attachment to the Sims portable games than the actual mainline Sims games, which is probably crazy to a lot of people. But something about the Sims spin-off games were just so charming at the time, especially during the Sims 2 era. I feel like we got every genre of the Sims games around this time. Me personally, I prefer the Game Boy Advance and DS games. I just think they're really charming, but the PSP games are very close. Sims 2 Castaway is Sims 2 Castaway. On the DS, we got a more point and click adventure style Castaway game, but this was literally The Sims Castaway on a portable device. It's a survival game, right? Kind of stranded on an island with a bunch of other characters and you just figure out how to survive. And it's not that bad on the PSP. Is this 2007? For a 2007 portable game, this is not bad at all. I'm not a fan of this monkey though. But then we have The Sims 2. I actually got these two bundled together, which was really convenient because the seller took care of these pretty well. But anyway, The Sims 2 interests me a little bit more. It starts off the same way as the DS game in the way that like your car kind of breaks down in Strange Town and then you get to figure out how to do shit from there. Except in the DS game, you more manage a hotel, but on the PSP, you can just do whatever. It low-key has a mystery game twist to it, bit of detective work in there. But then you also have all of your basic Sims stuff that we all like. I don't know, Sims 2 on the PSP is just really unique and low-key, these are really impressive games. We're kind of in an era of gaming where nothing like visually impresses us anymore, you know what I mean? There are a couple games that do. And if you're a Nintendo fan, we're still kind of in that era where we're like, oh my God, Final Fantasy VII Remake on a Nintendo console? That's crazy. But let's be real, new console generations have not really had that graphical leap that they used to. Like the rumors for the new Xbox coming out and how it's more powerful than the PlayStation 6, but what does that mean really? Yeah, we'll have games running faster and a lot more shit going on in the background. We'll get to see farther in games, like that's all cool. But I feel like we've reached a point where games can't really look that much better. So being me and playing PSP games nowadays, especially when I didn't get to play them back then, I'm still constantly like amazed that, oh my God, how am I playing this on a portable console? Like it would not be impressive today at all. In fact, these would literally be considered terrible, but I'm so impressed. These are such amazing ports. They're their own games, but you know what I mean. These are impressive versions, especially when the Nintendo version of these games were so lackluster in comparison. Though Sims 2 was pretty good on the DS, let's be real. I think these are really cool though. I'm a big fan of these. Anyway, a game I did start playing recently, finally, is Patapon, and I get it now. I was going to get it on the Switch, right? Because a whole remake for this game came out, or a remaster, I guess, with the second game, but there was no physical copy that I could find anywhere unless I bought it from PlayAsia, and I wasn't really feeling like doing that, you know? I'm still a physical games girly at heart, and my thought was, well, I have it on the PSP, and I never touched it, so maybe now's the chance. And it was, because holy hell, I get it. This is addicting. This game feels like Pikmin, but music. Rhythm Heaven Pikmin? I feel like that's accurate. This is actually crazy. Patapon is just one of those weird things that I don't know how to sell to people, which makes it more alike to Pikmin, funnily enough. Because you know, Pikmin, you can't really describe it to people, you know what I mean? Pikmin is one of those games where you look at gameplay footage and you don't understand it. Pikmin is literally one of those games that you have to play to get. And this feels the exact same way. I feel like my whole life I've been looking at Patapon footage and I'm like, okay, this looks fun, but I have no idea what's going on. And now I've played it and I'm like, I get it. This is amazing. I'm not that far into Patapon though, but I'm so glad I started and I'm going to be playing this on the way to PAX so much. Next we have LocoRoco. This copy's a little scratched up, but also my copy of Patapon was new in box. Like it still had the wrapping and everything, so can't complain. This one is also complete in box and I'm very happy about that. I've gotten really lucky with these. But LocoRoco is kind of the same way when I try to describe it. Patapon and LocoRoco are like the same genre of, these are weird, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I have a lot of fun with it. LocoRoco is more puzzle based, I guess. It's more turn your brain off and figure it out. Patapon needs a little bit of focus though. You need to lock in for Patapon. But LocoRoco is like, forget about thinking. We just love blobs. I haven't played my physical copy yet, but I did play a lot of this on my modded PSP, this beauty right here, and I absolutely love this game. Next up, we have Burnout Legends. I don't think I mentioned Burnout Legends in my road trips game video. There were a lot of racing games that I just didn't mention because I haven't tried them, but I finally played Burnout Legends. I already loved Burnout games, so it was no surprise that I ended up liking this, but I am surprised at how much I ended up liking this. This is a real ass Burnout game. This game is smooth as hell on the PSP, which is crazy to me anyway. I feel like I've played a few PSP games that just feel a little bit choppy when it comes to the racing genre. Burnout is good. Burnout Legends is very good. We love Burnout. This one's gonna be a bit of a yap session. Yes. Oh my god, Crisis Core. So as I mentioned, I already beat Rebirth, right? I've played Crisis Core before. I actually played Reunion instead of the original PSP game. I told myself I would not play the original on the PSP unless I could play it the way God intended. And now that I have my hands on this, I started playing it on PSP and holy shit, this is a game. Kind of what I said earlier about games not really impressing us anymore. When you play Crisis Core Reunion, you can tell, oh, this is an old ass game, just reskinned, right? It looks like one, they redid the gameplay, but it still feels kind of old despite all the changes. And the only thing that looks really good is the visuals. And so as much as I loved Crisis Core Reunion, and I trust, I love Crisis Core Reunion, you could tell it was an old ass game if you just went from remake to this. But the second I turn on the PSP, throw that fucking opinion out the window. This is a good ass game. This game is so visually crazy for a handheld device. In my eyes, PSP Zack Fair is a completely different character than remake Zack Fair. And it's not even entirely because of voice direction, right? It's low-key a mix to me. Because I believe that the remake voice actor for Zack Fair is a very talented voice actor. He's a good voice actor to me. I believe it was entirely voice direction that made a lot of his lines come out wonky. But PSP Zack Fair, completely different vibe. When Zack speaks in Reunion, everything sounds like a joke because he delivers it in a way that just makes me want to giggle.
What is it you're after?
World domination.
That's not even funny, man.
What is it you're after?
World domination.
That's not even funny, man.
Me? Gungaga.
Me? Gungaga.
To a world that abhors you and I,
Shut up!
all that awaits
Shut
you
up! I'm
is a
warning you!
But playing the original Crisis Core, I'm like, wow, completely different vibes. Everything has changed. And the gameplay holds up really well. I was recently asked the question, do you even play your PSP? Do you even have UMDs? This game has had all of my hours recently. I cannot put this shit down. This shit is addicting. I don't know what Square Enix kept doing, right, during this era of gaming, but they just kept fucking cooking. They must have put crack in this game or something, because how the hell can cutscenes look this good? In-game cutscenes, by the way. How can in-game cutscenes look this good on a PSP? I am a huge fan of when Final Fantasy games kind of had this look to it. I absolutely love the remake art style, right? I think it looks great. All the characters look amazing. But something about Crisis Core Reunion that I noticed when I first played it and never even played the PSP game was a lot of the time I felt like the emotions of the character models didn't come out properly. But playing Crisis Core on the PSP is when I really noticed, oh, this is why. Because the character models in Crisis Core on PSP are so expressive. It's like every little bit of their face is moving at all times. And I'm just a big fan of this like somewhat cartoonish style that they had in this game, where it's like, it's not Kingdom Hearts, but it's like it's a great in-between of Kingdom Hearts and regular Final Fantasy. I am such a huge fan of this game, it's crazy. And this is complete in box 2, which makes me extremely happy. The game is in here. And low-key, this might be, out of all the games I currently own, my favorite PSP game. Okay, I just need you to bear with me for like just a little bit more, right? Because I still have so many thoughts about Crisis Core. I think there is something so fascinating about the placement of Crisis Core in your first playthrough as a new Final Fantasy VII player, and how it shifts your thought process of the story. I would get absolutely crucified by most for the way that I played the Final Fantasy VII game, but I also want more people to understand that a good chunk of people play these remakes the way that they came out. So I and many others played remake to Crisis Core to Rebirth without playing the original. And hear me out. Playing Crisis Core after remake does not spoil the whole twist of Cloud's mind merging memories with Zack's due to all of the trauma and how fucked up his brain already was at the end of Crisis Core. Crisis Core shows you what happened to Zack and Cloud, and you move on. It clarifies a couple of things that happen in remake, and it makes you think on it. But when you get to Rebirth, you're not immediately like, wait, Cloud obviously thinks he's Zack because of the traumatic events and the things in his brain. No. You kind of go, wait, that's not what happened. Is that what happened? Does Cloud have his story straight? Why isn't Tifa mentioning this? And you just kind of question the validity of Cloud's story along with everyone else. And obviously you need to know Zack's story to understand what the fuck is going on with him and his timeline in Rebirth. So not only are you figuring out what's going on in the main story, but you also know enough to follow Zack's story as much as you can, because let's be real, nobody fucking understood what was going on with him either. But I can only imagine how insane the perspective would be from someone who played Crisis Core first. Meeting this wacky cast of characters through Zack, reaching the end, going, holy fucking shit, he's dead. Seeing the transition from Crisis Core to Final Fantasy VII's start, and then going into remake, I just feel like that could be absolutely fucking legendary. I don't know, I feel like, well, Final Fantasy VII has a lot of stuff for people who played the original and stuff that only they would know. Many people have only played the remakes. I know the story of the original 7. I am so unbelievably bad and impatient when it comes to this genre, despite being fully aware that these have the best stories in gaming history. I just can't do it. So like, I knew of what was different and what was added and all the new stuff in the remake before Rebirth because of YouTube. Anyway, Crisis Core. Not only is it a fucking amazing game, no matter the version you play, but your experience of both Crisis Core and the Final Fantasy VII remakes can greatly differ depending on where, when, and what version of Crisis Core you play. Because like everything I just mentioned is thinking you played like Reunion, so it lines up with everything, right? But I feel like if someone picked up the PSP specific version of Crisis Core before everything, holy shit. Everything I just said, except you'd have to deal with the insane whiplash of hearing the switch of the voice actors and the voice direction. I feel like original Zack Fair gives off like playboy, flirty badass who could either beat you or eat you, if you know what I'm saying. And remake Zack gives off nerdy loser who just happened to get a sword, a high soldier rank, and 0 riz.
An angel?
No, I'm Aerith.
I have to repay you somehow.
Don't worry about it.
No. Aha. Hey, how about one date?
I have to repay you somehow.
Don't worry about it.
No. Aha. Hey, how about one date?
What is that? Don't be silly.
Yet these tell the exact same story. I'm sorry, but 90% of the lines spoken by Reunion Zack are so much funnier sounding than PSP Zack, and it's not the voice actor's fault. Surely it's not the voice actor's fault. This game is a comedy. Game be so good until the fucking ending. Did you guys see that Crisis Core is ranked number 2 on top RPGs that made people cry? Replaying a game be so good until you remember how it fucking ends. Square Enix had some fuck ups recently, right? But they know how to make grown-ass people cry. That is for fucking sure. Square Enix knows how to grab you by the controller, throw you out back, and fuck you over. Your feelings, who needs them? Here's Crisis Core. I think Square Enix was just really good at making sure their games pushed a console to its limit. Because this game is just so damn beautiful. Even the cutscenes. And yes, they're just cutscenes, right? They can run on anything. But even the cutscenes are so damn good. I don't know, man. I love Crisis Core so much. I am going to see if I can beat it on the way to PAX at the end of the month. Anyway, moving on to Half Minute Hero. This is a road trip game. This game is fucking nuts. And it also came complete in box. The art for this game is actually really cool. This game feels like speed running an RPG, and I kind of love it. I'm not super far in, so I don't have a lot of thoughts to say. Crisis Core has honestly taken up most of my time, but this game is crazy and I love it. And last but not least, these 3 all came bundled together, but we got Buzzmaster Quiz, Sudoku, and Diner Dash. I don't have much to say about these two, but I bought this bundle because it was the only listing on Mercari that had Diner Dash when I bought it. This was my Flash game. I actually grew up playing the SpongeBob version of Diner Dash. I'm pretty sure it was a mobile game, but I played the absolute shit out of it. And I'm not huge on how the PSP version controls, but low-key, what did I expect? You know what I mean? This game is really fun still, actually. I feel like Diner Dash needs a comeback. And look at how nice the, the disc is. That's so cute. I feel like Diner Dash would go crazy if they remade it, you know? Put it on like the Switch or something. There's a lot of cafe and diner games that are really popular right now. This was the blueprint. We need more Diner Dash in our lives, honestly. That's actually all the games I got. Actually, no, it's not. I have Crazy Taxi. This one does not have a case, but I might just print one out, honestly. It's Crazy Taxi. I don't really have much to say about Crazy Taxi, but we love Crazy Taxi, right? It's a little bit janky on the PSP, I'll admit, but it gets the job done. Anyway, this has been my carrying case for my PSP. I got this on eBay after a lot of searching. This originally came in one of those kits that kind of reminded me of like the Nintendo DS kits that came with the case and a bunch of styluses and more game cases and other shit that we don't really need. But those were really expensive to get new in box, so I just bought the case. I gave it a little keychain. I actually did manage to find the Buster Sword that originally came with the Crisis Core PSP. It's just a little keychain, but it's cool as hell. They sell for a fucking arm and a leg, but I found one for not that, and I ordered it recently, so I'm really excited to get that. Because if you didn't know, the Crisis Core PSP originally came with earbuds that had the same art as right here, and a little Buster Sword keychain that would just kind of dangle around, and it said Crisis Core on it, and that is fucking awesome. I was gonna buy just a regular Buster Sword keychain, but I think they're a bit too big. The Crisis Core keychain is like this big, so that's cool. Anyway, this is where I keep the PSP because I think this case just looks cool. I'm a big fan of this. Anyway, that is kind of all I got. Bit of a short video today, but that is all right. Oh, here they come. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you were eating while watching this video, I hope your food turned out great. If you were drawing, I hope your drawing was amazing. And if you were doing chores, I hope you got your chores done. I will see you next week for another little video. Bye bye.